Imagine waking up tomorrow, and there is no water coming from your tap, no purifier, no bottled water, no clean water anywhere. You look outside. There's a river nearby, but the water is muddy. A pond looks cleaner, but animals are drinking from it. And you have no idea which water could make you sick. For us, this sounds like a disaster. But for ancient humans, this was everyday life. So how did they survive? The first trick was simple. They learned where to look. Ancient humans constantly watched their environment. If birds suddenly flew toward one area, if animals repeatedly gathered somewhere, or if a patch of green vegetation appeared in a dry landscape, there was a good chance water was nearby. They also learned to recognize natural springs, streams, river valleys, and places where rainwater collected. Over thousands of generations, this knowledge became survival knowledge. But finding water was only half the problem, because not every source was safe. A beautiful-looking pond could contain animal waste, parasites, or other harmful organisms. Ancient humans didn't know about bacteria or viruses, but they could notice patterns. Maybe people who drank from one particular pond often became sick, while another spring seemed to cause fewer problems. So communities began developing their own practical rules about water. And then humans discovered something incredibly useful: fire. Fire wasn't just for warmth or cooking food. With the right containers, humans could heat water. In some ancient techniques, people even heated stones in a fire, then placed those hot stones into containers filled with water. The heat could raise the temperature of the water and make it safer to drink. They didn't understand microorganisms. They didn't know why heating worked. They simply learned, "This seems to keep us healthier." Rain was another precious source. Instead of depending completely on rivers and ponds, humans could collect rainwater. But storing water created a new problem. How do you keep it from becoming contaminated? So humans developed containers made from things like animal skins, wood, shells, and eventually pottery. Large clay jars allowed communities to store water for later. And this changed human life, because water no longer had to be consumed immediately. It could be carried, stored, shared, and protected. Then humans began settling in one place. They started farming. Villages became larger. And eventually, cities appeared. Now water became an even bigger problem. Thousands of people needed it. Animals needed it. Crops needed it. And all those people produced waste. So ancient civilizations began digging wells, building reservoirs, creating canals, and developing systems to move water. Some civilizations eventually built enormous water networks. The Romans, for example, constructed aqueducts that transported water over long distances. But ancient water was still far from perfect. People still suffered from waterborne diseases. Some communities experienced devastating outbreaks. And without modern medicine, a contaminated water source could become deadly. So the truth is, ancient humans didn't survive because their water was always clean. They survived because they became extremely good at managing the water they had. They watched animals. They studied landscapes. They remembered reliable springs. They collected rain. They carried water. They stored it. They heated it. And eventually, they engineered entire civilizations around it. Today, we turn on a tap without thinking. But behind that simple action are thousands of years of human experimentation and engineering. Because long before humans built skyscrapers, before electricity, before modern cities, every human faced the same basic question: where will I get my next drink of water? And solving that question helped build civilization itself.